Alrighty, so how are you doing today?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good. I was listening into the whole press, so it was really good. You guys, it seems like you guys have really good camaraderie. That's it.
Yes, and I know people say it all the time, but I mean, we really got along very well. I was so proud of the way that all of the actors came together because sometimes, I mean, I had a lot of work, but just to see their interaction, see them hold down the set together. I couldn't be as available to the crew that I normally like to be, or available to everyone, because I had to study all my lines and get into character. But I really enjoyed and was proud of the way that they embraced the crew. They embraced everybody who came to set. We had such an incredible family type of atmosphere on this show that really is special.
This show specifically focuses on Watson, which I think is
Yeah,
excellent. In
thank you.
preparing for this, what's something that you've learned more about him that you think even like diehard fans would be like surprised to learn?
Wow, I don't think that I've learned anything about him that diehard fans would be surprised to know. What I love about this iteration of Watson, first and foremost, is told the story of Watson is in this mythology is finally told from Watson's perspective and not Sherlock's. But one of the aspects of and Craig did a great job just remaining true to certain elements of the mythology. You know, we have certain characters, a lot of Easter eggs in the show for people to see. But the story opening up, this being told from Watson's perspective from the very first time, when it's told post the death of Sherlock,
Mhm.
and having a new clinic, we kind of had a little freedom to take the character into areas where he's never been before. And so he's dealing with a traumatic brain injury. He's dealing with a divorce. He's possibly dealing with he's dealing with looming Moriarty is around. He's dealing with the effects and the power that Moriarty has to affect people around me that I may not be able to trust. So I have some medication issues. So there's so many issues that Watson is dealing with, not necessarily tied to the mythology for hardcore Sherlock fans, but there are interesting things to that would be intriguing to the hardcore fans. Say, for instance, he actually goes back to prior to working with Sherlock, to where he was in the medical. He was out on a tour in the service. So there are a lot of things that he does like that.
That's cool. I love that it's like you're getting the totality of him, which we've
One
always
million
kind of
percent.
gotten him. Yeah.
And
So
yeah, because you're going further than what you normally would see in the regular stories,
very
because it's told from his perspective and not Sherlock's.
and on this one, it's not just medicine, but you're also a detective, which I know I definitely wanted to touch on that aspect.
Being doc detectives, yes, doc detectives, doctors and detectives, yes, we're doc detectives.
So
Yes,
how did you go about making sure that it it all plays a part, the detective work and the doctor side?
that's one of the things. See, when I met with Craig, we had a meeting prior to shining on to the show, and he was telling me that that's one of the aspects of the show. When we discussed it, that's one of the things that I was really excited about, because okay, there have been a lot of great medical dramas out there, and there'll be some great medical dramas in the future. There'll be a lot of great detective dramas out there, and be some great detective dramas in the future. But to combine both genres within the Sherlock Holmes mythology, it was something I was like, wow. I mean, that's something that I really would be excited to be a part of. Because of course I've done medical shows before. You know, I did The Resident. I love working on The Resident, but we're in a hospital, 90% of the time. We never really went outside. My character never went outside to solve the mystery,
Right.
to solve the case, and that's what we get to do here. And I haven't seen a show, me personally, where they've done that. So I'm excited about it.
It's so funny that you talked about you played a doctor more than once.
Yes, I
So
have.
did you take anything from like past roles as doctors into this, or it was a whole brand new doctor, character?
Well, so what I did was one of my approaches, I wanted the character to be different than Dr. Rosewood.
Mhm.
Because and he was just inherently he was. Rosewood, he was everything was about optimism. It could be, it could be snowstorming outside and houses could be floating away and he'd find something positive about it. Then we had Barrett Kane on The Resident, to where he was only about the money. He didn't care about the patient's health in any way, shape, or form. So I've never. That's That's the character that I pretty much stayed away from. Ike Prentice on Nurse Jackie he was a doctor who really cared about his patients as well and had to deal with some other types of issues. So there's probably there's a little bit of Ike, a little bit of Rosewood, but this character in and of itself was just it really was completely different, just in terms of just the basis, the foundation of starting from. He was Ike was also was also in the service, but
Yeah.
just in terms of coming from the mythology and
Mhm.
having already had some patterns of behavior, already having some ways that he dealt with people. It wasn't a fresh canvas. However, what was great for us is we were allowed to, because of where the story opens up, because the story's always been told from Sherlock's perspective.
Correct.
Because the story is told from Watson's perspective after Sherlock has already, he's passed. It allowed us some freedom.
Okay, now speaking of, I know you were saying that like all of the rare diseases,
Medicine,
yeah, all of
all,
those are real.
all the medicine is real. All the medicine is real.
Okay, so what was like of all of the medicine that you were dealing with, which one was like the most like surprising to learn about?
One of the ones, and we had a great actor who played this. One of the case, there was a case of a hand to where a guy didn't have control over his own hand.
Oh,
It
like
was just, what's that?
idle hands?
No, it's just a hand that would move. It would do stuff like he could be talking, he could be buttoning it up with one hand, and he's unbuttoning it with the other. He
Oh,
couldn't control
wow.
his hand. Yes, he cannot. He couldn't control his hand. That was a great case. That was a great case. There was a case where sickle cell anemia. There's a cure for sickle cell anemia, but the hospitals don't push it. Yeah, so Watson attempts to cure someone of sickle cell anemia. There was a case where a woman felt that she had a monster inside of her, and it wasn't really a monster, but you can understand after seeing the show that it was to her a monster and understand why. There were so many incredible cases. So I couldn't. I would read it and say, "Come on now, this can't be real. This is not
I'm
true."
listening to you and I'm like, really? Like, are we sure? But these are
Yeah, it's real. It's real. Even from the first episode, there's a picture of a foot nipple. There's actually people out there who have a nipple on their foot.
wow.
Yes, and so all of the science is real.
Wow. That is
Yeah.
really, really cool.
Yes.
So, you've been around for a very long time. You've had an amazing
Yes.
career. If
Thank you.
you could have any past former co-star join in either
Ooh.
recurring or just guest star, who would it be?
Wow. Wow. That's so tough. Let me think about it. That's a tough one. That is a tough one. I've worked with so many great co-stars. Are you talking about male, female? What do you?
You know what? Let's do one male and one female. How about that? So you have a little bit more.
Wow. Oh, wow. That is so tough. Um, so if I had one former co-star to work, I can't do it. I'm sorry. I can't. I mean, I had such a great time with so many of them. So many of them are just so smart and intelligent and terrific actors and actresses. I would leave somebody out and then I would feel bad. I mean, I know some people come to, I just don't want to feel bad. So, but that's a great question. That's a great question.
Well, we didn't get the answer, so
Because I just don't, only because I'm soft and I don't want to leave somebody out and feel bad about it. I have a heart, just like Watson. I have a heart.
okay, well, when it comes to your amazing ensemble,
Yes.
how was it working with them and how did you guys work together to really deepen the relationships? Because you have your relationship with your ex-wife, and then you have everyone that you brought on who you brought them on for a particular reason. And so it's very intriguing, to be honest.
Yeah.
Very, very intriguing.
Yeah.
So how did that play out?
So yeah, one of the things, our uh our consultant on the show, Dr. Mawalem, he's a doctor that he can literally look at you. He looks at everybody. He can't just look at them at face value. He's
Mm.
seeing some type of genetic issue that's going to engage him. It's going to intrigue him. And that's what Watson is. So when Watson brought all the fellows together, he also saw something in each of them that he was curious about. He wanted to bring them all together. In working with all of them, it was an incredible experience because, like I said earlier, you said you're at the press day earlier. All of them, literally, when you see the show, you will see all of them put everything that they have. Craig wrote some things in the show that really, hit some triggers to some people, and you will see there's so much emotion in our show. There's laughter, there's joy, there's sadness. There's so much of everything in our show that you'll see, and everyone brought it. Everyone just came to set and just let it all out. So that's what the audience is going to see. They just let it all out there.
Stepping aside a little bit, 25 years, Best Man, the
Yes.
legacy, and all of
Yes.
that. What has been the most rewarding thing about seeing the franchise and its legacy over the years?
For me, one of the most rewarding things is looking back at the franchise. So we did the first one, then we came back and did the Best Man Holiday, and then we came back a couple of years ago after 20 years and did the final chapters for Peacock. The most rewarding thing to me is to be able to do. First of all, it's hard to do any project in town in Hollywood and have it resonate with people. It's just hard. There are projects to do it. Of the thousands of projects every year, you may get 10 that really resonate. So for us to do a project 25 years ago that not only resonated with audiences, but it resonated with audience to the extent that they wanted to see the second one.
Mhm.
And then after the second one, they wanted to see the series that we did. And then now people are asking for more after that. So for me to be a part of a project that is still resonating with audiences, is finding new audiences now, and people just keep coming back to it. For me, that's the main thing that makes me feel good about
Yes, listen, I'm one of those. I want another one.
it. Thank
It's
you.
beautiful. It's beautiful. And out of all
Thank
of
you.
the characters, because you played very iconic roles, yes, the best man, it's as a franchise, it's a legacy, but you
Thank you.
played some very iconic roles. Which one would you say do you still sit and say, wow, I did that?
Of all the characters,
Mhm.
I don't sit and say wow because for me, I don't feel like I haven't played my best character. I think this one is Watson is a character that I feel there's still so we've only done 13 episodes of the first season. I think there's still so much more to explore with this character. I feel it's going to be Watson, but in terms of movies, um, I appreciated the growth of Lance from even in the first episode where he got from in the first episode from the first film to where he kind of overcame everything that he felt and believed, and he just went by faith and married his wife anyway, married Mia anyway, and then even in the second there was even more growth to where he forgave Harper again after everything that was going on and with the traumatic loss of his wife. I do look back at that. I left a lot there in that character. That is probably one of my favorite characters.
I love that. But you're saying Watson, as long as you're able to evolve it, it's probably gonna be the one.
Watson, yes, Watson, I have to say, because even what we did in the first season, he's dealing with so much. He's still trying to figure out who he is and what's happening because of everything that's happened in his life. But I think in the second season, we're going to get even deeper into who he is. And it's going to cause me as an actor to explore even more than I had to go through in the first season.
Love that. So we need multiple seasons.
We
Love
need multiple seasons. We know, yeah, we need multiple seasons.
this. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. It was great talking to you.
Thank you. Great talking to you as well. Thank you.